the ESFJ in the workplace. I love the ESFJ. And everyone who's met them, and undoubtedly you have, they love them too. The ESFJ in the MBTI community is called the Consul, Consul, but I prefer, like a lot of the descriptions, to go with what David Keirsey calls the caretaker. And when you've met or when you've been around an ESFJ, that's what they do. That's what they are. Their first function is extroverted feeling. That is always catering towards harmony, group dynamics. They're the person that at a party is, can I get you a new drink? Are you good? Can I get your coat? Are you feeling okay? Anything I can get you? Do you need anything? That is the ESFJ in a nutshell in all aspects of life. They're the person you notice when they're not around because everything comes unglued. If you're in a corporate environment, it's the person that the little things, the little nuances that make the day go smoothly, when they're not there, everything falls apart. Executive can't get things done. Salesperson can't get things done. Product doesn't know where that tool is that I always asked so-and-so, the ESFJ, where it is, and it always came to me. They are so good at fulfilling the needs of others and being the glue that bonds everyone together that when they're gone, it is almost impossible to function. No one buys the product. They buy the ESFJ. Now, other types can be great at sales, but they can be great at selling the product or convincing or bulldozing somebody to buy said product. No, with the ESFJ, you're buying them. They know because they're a traditionalist type, they have that SJ function there. They have a way of operating that is very conventional and traditional. The ISFJ, like I mentioned, they're called the protector and they defend traditional values. If you violate their code of conduct, if you violate the way that they know works, they can become very unfriendly and not oriented towards people anymore, but staying strictly towards how things are done. You can see another similarity with the ESFJ, with the ESTJ, the executive profile. Both types, once they've figured out a plan of action, like the ESTJ towards logic, or like the ESFJ towards people, it's very difficult to get them to change the way that they operate, which in a setting in a larger corporation that has protocols and standards in place, the ESFJ is excellent at holding tight to those traditions. An isolated role, an individual contributor would not be a place I would recommend putting ESFJ because they can experience FOMO quite intensely if they're not around people, if they're not servicing people, if they're not being someone that is being recognized for their service to others. So as a manager, you have a ton of places you can put an ESFJ, but it needs to be in a place where they can influence group dynamics and team dynamics and feel good about themselves as they work towards helping others achieve any sort of goal they need. Otto Kroger, in his book Type Talk, wrote that they are the host and hostesses of the world. So the example I gave at the beginning where I described how they would act at a party is the perfect example of how they think about their life. Like all types that are service-oriented towards people, they can neglect their own emotional, physiological, and internal needs in service of other people. So as a manager, you'd have to make sure to check on them and make sure that they're also checking in on themselves. Hey, did you take a break today? Because it looks like you've been running ragged all day, and go take a break. Like, go do that right now. You need to recharge. Thank you so much for watching this video on the ESFJ.